Today we're taking a look at the 2022 Nitro X 4-track Talon Cam from Obsession Bows. Just a reminder guys, head on over to mikesarchery.com to pick up any of our latest logo gear. We got plenty of hats and shirts as well as any gear you might need for your next adventure. Welcome back to Mike's Archery's YouTube, and today we are taking a look at the 2022 lineup from Obsession Bows, and we have got the new Nitro X 4-track with the Talon Cam on it. So this is one of the versions of the Nitro X. They've got several different options there and they're all in cam differences. This is specifically the Talon Cam. Now the speed rating on this cam setup is going to be 335 feet per second. The axle to axle on this bow is 31 inches with an overall cam to cam length of 36.5 inches. Now the brace height is coming in at 6.25 inches while the reflex on the riser is coming in at 6 inches. So really a nice short brace height, but not too short. It's right there in that wheelhouse of what's going to be comfortable and forgiving. Now the factory spec weight on this bow is coming in at 4.4 pounds. And then we threw it on the scale and got the real world weight out of the box was a full 5 pounds on this bow. Now when we pulled the dampeners out of the limbs, we got it down to 4.8 pounds. So coming in a little bit heavy above what Obsession is advertising the spec weight on this bow. Now the Talon Cam has got some adjustability on that cam with a module going every ½ inch. On the bottom end you're going to be able to get 26.5 inches, and on the top end it's going to go out to 30 inches, covering pretty much that full gamut of range that you need for a draw length setting to fit most everybody out there. Now the draw weight options on this bow are coming in available in 50, 60, 65, 70, and 80 pounds on this bow. So you're going to be able to order this bow in pretty much every draw weight option to fit your needs. Now the Talon Cam is a fixed 85% let off on that module. So as it comes over and rolls into the cables, you're not going to be able to adjust anything on the mods as we have seen from some of the competition, but it is a straight 85%. Now some of the features on this bow, and this is so brand new that we don't have a lot of the fancy marketing names that most companies give stuff. So we're going to try to break this down and tell you what the names of some of this stuff is and what we're seeing as far as the features on this bow. Now the machine riser is basically what I would consider a traditional Obsession look. It's much wider at the limb pockets and continues with that tradition of what Obsession has done with their risers in the past. So one of the first things we noticed on this riser is that it is pre-drilled up front to allow you to put one of those Picatinny rail sight mounts on the front of the riser. So if you're wanting to use some of those inline sight options that are out there on the market, similar to what the Hoyt brackets are, you're going to be able to mount that pick rail system on the front of the riser and use some of those inline sights and bring those accessories inline on the riser and better balanced. The other thing we noticed was Obsession also pre-drilled on the back of the rest mount 2 holes there, allowing you to use the Hamskea core mounting system. So if you want to use the Hamskea system where you're able to bolt that core mounting system on the back of the riser and get yourself an inline style rest that's going to mount in there from Hamskea, you're also going to be able to use that system on this bow. They also kept your traditional double rest mounting holes in the riser, which is going to allow you to mount any traditional rest on this bow and lock it down solid. One of the other features they added to this bow was the limb dampening system. It's a little different than what we've seen from other manufacturers. It is some rubber limb dampeners in between the limbs on a split limb design, but it has some ball bearings weighted in that system. And one of the things that we noticed is that it is actually removable. Those are going to come out of the limb dampening system, and we felt that it's not really an advantage. We feel those weighted ball bearings are going to help dissipate vibration and weight, but we're concerned about those pieces coming out while you're in the field. It's just a small thing, but we feel like it's something as you're going through brush, maybe you're riding your e-bike or walking into your stand, that those could pop out fairly easily and you're going to possibly lose them. Now Obsession did include a smooth roller guard system on this bow, which is a nice design. It allows it to roll through the draw very smoothly, giving no chatter on that cable rod. Now as we looked at this cam and the Talon 4-track design with that bus tuning system that's built into the cables, it is very reminiscent of what we have seen from another manufacturer on the market. But we feel that it's a solid design and it will function quite well in the field. As we mentioned before, on the Talon 4-track, it does have a rotating mod with a cable stop. It does have a little sponginess at full draw on that cable stop. It's not a rock solid back wall, but that is up to the shooter. If that's something that you like rather than that solid back wall, this has got a little sponge for you to pull through on. Some of the other standard features that we saw on this bow is a standard stabilizer mount with one lower stabilizer mount right near the bottom of the riser on the back if you want to add a little weight to it. It has a nice thin grip that sits well in your hand, and also aesthetically looks good with the wood side plates mounted on there. The bow also comes standard from the factory with America's Best strings on it, which we thought was a nice upgrade from the factory, giving you a high quality set of strings from America's Best, and you're not going to have to worry about replacing those with an aftermarket set of strings. And one of the other things that Obsession did, keeping in true form to what they have done in the past, is a ton of color options and being able to customize this bow any way you want. Now, they kept it pretty simple on the solid colors with just black, moss green, and desert tan. They've got a ton of camo options covering the full gamut of the veil options with veil Whitetail, the Cumbre, and the Cervidae, as well as the veil Tac Black. Now, if you're a mossy oak guy, they've got several options there with Breakup Country, Mountain Country, as well as original Bottomlands. And if you're a Realtree guy, you can get this bow outfitted in Realtree Edge, Excape, Timber, even an AP Snow if you want that really cool white look. And they've also got a Predator 3D Deception, which you don't see on too many bows these days, and is a really cool color out there for a lot of you guys who have followed Predator for years. For the women, they've got a Muddy Girl option, and they also have a Bone Maniacs camo. Now on the target side of things, they've got a ton of cool colors there for you as well, with a full line of fusion colors with green, orange, blue, purple, red, and white, a Flo Green, some Nickle Powder, Chrome Powder Coat, Blue Wing Teal, Champagne, and even a Stars and Stripes. So if you want to mix and match some of those colors, that's an option, and Obsession will build a bow any way you want it. One of the other things we noticed about this bow was the price point. Now this bow is coming in as one of their flagship models with that new Nitro X series, but it is not at those higher prices that we're seeing out of a lot of the competition. MAP retail on this bow is coming to you at $935, so coming in a few $100s cheaper than what we're seeing out of a lot of the competition's flagship models. From here, we're going to step over to the lane, take some shots out of this bow, and just see what kind of numbers it puts up. As always, we're going to be shooting this bow with a 400 grain arrow at 70 pounds and 29-inch draw length with 85% let off, starting there with a 400 grain arrow and then going from 350 all the way out to 500 grains. So we've stepped back here to the range and we've got the Nitro X with the Talon cams on it, and we're going to shoot this thing over the chronograph, give you kind of some speed ratings as well as the noise ratings on this bow, and then also kind of give you an overall feel of what the bow does through the draw cycle and things. As usual, we're going to start off with that 400 grain arrow at 29 inches at 70 pounds with 85% let off, and we're going to see what those numbers post up, and then we'll give you the breakdown on all the other speeds with the different weights. All right, so with a 400 grain arrow, you're looking at 290 feet per second. We've been getting that pretty consistently here across the chronograph. Now, if you take that up, as we have been doing, to a 350 grain arrow, so if you drop it down to that 350 grains, you're going to see 306 feet per second out of this bow. Again, 290 at 400. As we went up in weight at the 450 grain, we got 275. And then at 500 grains, we got 262. So pretty decent speeds out of a bow that is IBOing right there in the 335 mark. It's pretty much what we expected out of it as far as speed. So right there where it needs to be. Now, as far as the noise level on this bow, coming in at 97.7 decibels. So right there in the wheelhouse of pretty much everything we've been seeing. It's not exceptionally loud. It's not quiet. Exceptionally in either direction. So it's falling right there with everybody else as far as the noise rating on it. Now, as far as the shot and draw cycle on this bow, the one thing we noticed as soon as we got it, it loads up on the front kind of heavy. So coming right off the rip, it's just got a little extra heaviness to it coming out of the draw. Comes through the draw cycle nice and smooth, does drop off into the bottom end. Pretty heavy there at the back end. So with that 85% let off, you're feeling it drop right there at the last second. And but overall, once you get there, at full draw, it settles in nicely. He's got a little sponge on the cable, but that's where it's being a cable stop. It's not what I would consider a rock hard back wall on it. But if you like that spongy back wall, just a little bit there to pull through on, then this is going to be a cam that suits you pretty well. And then the after shot on this bow, as far as the deadness in the hand, sits really well in the hand. So it's very dead in the hand. The shot cycle afterwards, just you don't really feel anything in the palm of your hand. So it goes off real nice. And that grip does sit well, those nice wood side plates just sitting in your hand very well. Now we did notice as we come into draw, and I don't know if you could hear it on the audio or not, this bow has a click to it. And we're not sure it's the only one we have. It's a brand new model, but it does have an audible click when you get to full draw. We've kind of messed with it, tried to get rid of it. We don't know if it's just this model. I don't expect it to be something you're going to hear in every model. But for whatever reason, in case you heard that on there, this bow does have an audible click as you get to full draw. Is what it is. If we can't figure out where it's at, it's probably in a module somewhere, maybe a limb pocket. We fought with it for a while here as we were testing it, and we finally just kind of went with it, and we figured that's something that's just unique to this specific bow. So with that said, just giving an overall good feel of this bow. I mean, it's just really a nice new addition from Obsession. It's good to see him back out there pushing bows out. Just an overall good looking bow, good feeling bow, and a good shooting bow. So if you're one of those guys that's been looking at the Obsessions or had one in the past and you want to go back to them, this is a bow you should definitely check out with that new Talon cam. And if it's something that you're looking for, give us a call here at Mike's Archery and we'll get you set up with one.